Now the example here says, given the point A1, given the point A which has coordinates -5 and 3, and point B which has coordinates 6 and 0, and the last point which is C which has coordinates 5 and 5. We're told to plot each point, form the triangle ABC, and verify that the triangle is a right triangle. After you've now done all this, then we're also told to find the area of the triangle. So without mincing words, let's go straight ahead to plot each point. Now the first point we have here is A, which has the x coordinate to be -5. So I'm going to look for -5 on this graph. So this is point -5 here, and the y coordinate is 3. So this is 3 here. So where they intersect is here. So this is my point A, which is -5, 3. Then B, x coordinate is 6, 0. So this is B here. So this is my B, which is 6, 0. And then the last one, which is 5, 5. So this is x is 5 and y is 5. So they meet here. So this is their point of intersection. So my C is 5, 5. Now I've plotted a point. So we're told to form triangle ABC. So I'm told to join the triangle. So the first point is this. So this is my first point, followed by this, join to this, and then join to this finally. Now this is my point here. So lastly, we are told to verify that the triangle is actually a right triangle. Now if you look closely, you would observe that the angle here, it looks like 90 degrees. Now to verify that this triangle here is a right triangle, we're going to lay credence to a particular thought. And what is the thought? So you recall that if you have a right triangle, assuming this is your right triangle, probably this is the right triangle here, and maybe here is C, here is B, here is A. Now according to the Pythagorean theorem, it says that the square of the hypotenuse equals the sum of the squares of the other two sides of a right triangle. So we're going to apply this theorem here. That is to say, for this triangle here to be a right triangle, it simply implies that the sum of, by the time we find the squares of each of the sides of a triangle, one of them must equal the sum of the squares of the other two sides. So for example, from A to C, the distance is AC. From A to B, the distance is AB, while from B to C, the distance is BC. So we're going to go ahead to find the distance AB, distance BC, and distance AC. So the very first one, I want to find the distance between point A and B. Now to find the distance between point A and B, the coordinates of A is given as -5, 3, while the coordinates of B is given as, which is this, is given as 6, 6, 0. And then this is going to be my x1, this is my y1, this is my x2, this is my y2. So to find the distance between A and B, so we'll use the distance formula, which is x2 minus x1 squared, and that is 11 squared, plus y2 minus y1 squared, which is 3 squared. And then when we do that, that's 11 squared plus 3 squared, which is the root of 130. So this is the length of AB, that's this side here. So let's go ahead and find the length of BC. So distance BC. Now B, the coordinates of B which were given is 6, 0. The coordinate of C which were also given is 5, 5. So to find the length of the line segment joining B and C, so go ahead and label them x1, y1, x2, y2. So to use the distance formula says that the distance between B and C is actually equal to the root of x2 minus x1 squared, which is 1 squared, plus y2 minus y1 squared, which is 5 squared. And then when we evaluate this, what we would have is the root of 26. So lastly, we'll find the distance between A and C. So to find that, I need to know the coordinates of A, which we're also given to be negative 5, 3, and the coordinates of C, which we're also given to be 5, 5. So to find the distance, the first thing you do as usual is to label the coordinates. So this will be x1, y1, x2, y2. And then after labeling them, we can use the distance formula. So the same procedure, that is the root of x2 minus x1 squared, which is 10 squared, plus y2 minus y1 squared, which is 4. And then this is going to give us the root of 10 squared is 100 plus 4, which is 104. And then if you look closely, there's something you need to notice here. The square of the distance between A and B. Now what I want to do now is, I know that my distance between A and B is, the distance between A and B is the root of 130. The distance between B and C, which is what we got here, to be the root of 26. And then the distance between A and C, we got that to be 104. So to use the Pythagorean theorem, it says take the square of each of the sides. Then if you notice that one of them is the sum of the other two squares, it implies that it's the right triangle. So I'm going to take the squares of each of the two sides. So that is the AB squared, that is 130, that's 130 all squared, which removes the square root sign, and that becomes 130. Then the BC squared equals 26, and then AC squared equals 104. Now if you notice closely, when you sum this and this, 26 plus 104, we would obtain 130. That is the distance, or the square of the distance between A and C plus the BC squared equals the AB all squared. So that implies that it has satisfied the Pythagorean theorem, which implies it is a right triangle. So we can conclude that yes, it is a right triangle. And then the reason being that it satisfied the Pythagorean theorem. So lastly, we are told to find the area of the triangle, right? So lastly, we are told to find the area. Now how do you find the area? The formula for area is half base times height. Now looking at this triangle here, so since we observed that the longest line is AB, according to what we calculated, so that implies that the height is just going to be, so let's come down here. So what we have as our area, which is the last part, that is the area equals half base times height. So that's going to be half times the base. Now the base we are given, our base is going to be BC. That is BC. And we got the distance between B and C to be root of 26. times the root of our height. Our height is from here to here, that is A to C. So, and we got the distance AC to be 104, the root of 104. So that implies that our answer is going to just be the root of 26 times 104 divided by 2. And then when you simplify this, you should get your answer. Anyway, we could go further here. This is the same thing as 2 times 13 times, this is 52 divided by 2. So which is going to give us the root of 13 times 52. And then this should be your final answer. And that completes the problem.